Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. And remember, if you are a bigot, that is a terrible character flaw. There are certainly worse character flaws to have. Point being, though, it is a character flaw. I recorded for, I think it was at least 3 to 6 minutes before noticing that I hadn't actually turned the camera on. So it wasn't recording at all, it was just yammering to a dead camera. But I figured it out before going on for 20 minutes like I did before. Thank goodness for that. I've written down stuff up here. I'm going to go back on it because I'd talked about 2 of those things, and I'm going to re-talk about them. And since my ADHD makes my brain fire and forget, hopefully I can remember. Now, one of the things I did right was, don't be sad you need the tool, be glad the tool is there. Now, I don't mean like hammers or anything like that. I mean, like, if you can't see up close because you have astigmatism, you're farsighted and nearsighted, and you're older now, don't be sad that you need reading glasses. These are filthy. So if they reflect really cloudy or you can see like thumbprints on them, they are filthy. But don't be sad you need the tool. Be glad there's a tool there to help you. As stated, I am nearsighted, so I would have been able to see from in this eye. I'm farsighted in this eye, so up close it's like I don't have one. But with astigmatism now, I can't see up close anymore either. So thank goodness there's this. And I had brought up this here because I'd mentioned this before. This is a card of instructions. You can see how tiny in relation to my finger and fingernail these lines are. That's insanely small. I can't read that without reading glasses. If it weren't for that tool, it would be pointless. I would have wasted my money. But thank goodness. So don't be sorry that you need the tool. Just be glad the tool is there. And speaking of which, this is so frustrating because I have to talk about it again, and hopefully I remember the things I mentioned. I had purchased, I don't know when, it's semi-recently, which means anywhere from like the month before this month, April? Anywhere from April to January, this would have showed up. I don't know when, fairly recently-ish. With ADHD, I couldn't tell you. I talked about the instruction set before, but yeah, mint night, and I stated, I can't remember, but here's information that's on the back of the mint tin. It's important information that I do not know. Will you focus? It's not going to. I don't know if it's in the rules set, but it's got these big cards that you can lay down that have those kind of fronts and information on them. This way you've got little cards with quests and problems and gear. And yeah, I put these all in bags because I want them to not get banged around against each other. And then there's these little tokeny things. Now these I went and actually put into plastic card sleeves. These ones, these are a weird shape, so I'm going to have to wait until I can order some of those if they even have that size. But yeah, you have 4 rounds to defeat like 2 castles or everything is over. I imagine the rounds last more than like 5 seconds, so it's not like a 5-minute game. But it is a game that I do want to play. But again, even if I never play any of the solo board games and solo RPGs that I have, which as you've seen on my channel, I have played them. And on my own time, with my board games, I have played them. With my solo RPG stuff, I have played them. but I do spend more time reading the stuff, looking through it, opening it up and taking a look at the cards, imagining what it's like to play, and then if I have the energy, being able to play. Unfortunately, I usually wait until like after 7 o'clock p.m. to take these things off the shelf to think about playing them. If I only start a day with 70 spoons instead of 100, by 7 o'clock, I'm having to severely ration my spoons to get through the rest of the night. Breaking out midnight might be a fun thing to think about, but when I bring that thing out, I don't know if I can spend the 5 spoons necessary to play. Happy days are here again. And let's see what else we have up here. Oh, I do subscribe to, I think, a channel by this fellow, Dangerously Funny. And he breaks games primarily in goofy ways, or else he just does absurd things within the context of the game. He may play it normally, but he'll play it in such a way that, you know, the normal game might be, if it's a money collector, oh, you need to collect $5 million. And he's going to break it and play it in such a way that at a bare minimum, he's going to have gotten hundreds of trillions, that sort of thing. And he's just an interesting sort of fellow. I can't remember the name of the game that he was playing, but it was sort of along the lines of that game about digging a hole. So it was a game about digging a hole clone. But you could tell that this was also an opportunity just for him to talk about his own enormous hole in the game. But he's gone, oh, I need this in my hole. Oh, I've got to go this for it. And it just kept going like that. And so I was like, you're doing this on purpose. You're doing this on purpose. So I just thought I'd point that out, that I think he just played that game all as an excuse to talk about his enormous hole. Thumbs up for that. And then let's see. Oh, yes. As much as I like the game Gas Station Simulator, and I do, under normal circumstances, I'm sometimes lucky if I can get 100 views on something within maybe a couple days. And if I break 200 views, that's amazing. I usually get between 100 and 200 views. And for me, I can live with that. I didn't start and do my channel for fame and fortune. I can't pivot hard and fast enough, nor do I have the money and equipment and such to be able to do what YouTube wants to have a very successful channel. I know that my channel is effectively dead, and I have a small, relatively small group of very dedicated people, and I thank each and every one of you out there that watches. You are those people, and I appreciate that very much. But they consider if you get if you're down to less than 10% of your subscriber base in views, you're considered dead channel. Well, I think I might have 200,000 subscribers on the list still. And with 100 views on a video, that's... So when I play Gas Station Simulator, and I'm struggling to break 60 views, much as I may like the game, that's why I don't play Paint the Town Red as much as I would like. I watch other channels out there, right now that do Paint the Town Red and do very good numbers on those videos. And when I do them, I get half as many as like when I play not gas station, but grocery store simulator. So, yeah, dead channel. thank you for watching. It is appreciated, each and every one of you that does watch. I am sad, of course. I don't want my channel to vanish entirely. That would suck. Very much so. My channel being one of my largest lifelines to the outside world. Yay. Then we have, I think I talked about how I wanted to take Strattera or try Strattera for my ADHD. It being a non-stimulant ADHD med. But I looked up, hey, what does Strattera do to your blood pressure? And under normal circumstances, it says you might be fine. But there's a fairly significant portion of the population, it's around 10%, where your blood pressure spikes horrifically. So I'm not going to try Strattera. Tying into this one, I have been noticing for the past couple of weeks that I've been having headaches again. Now, I have chronic pain in a lot of different ways, so when I just have low-level pain, I don't even notice it. I can have headaches and not even realize I have a headache because it's down in the background noise level. Well, these have inched up out of the background noise level into my noticing consciously that I got a headache. So last night I took my blood pressure and it wasn't good. This morning I took my blood pressure 188 over... You want to have 120 over 80. I had 188 over 86. And I'm so sorry that was difficult for me to say. The blood pressure might have something to do with that because I don't think well or as well as normal, which is pretty pitiful when I got blood pressure issues. And 188 over gosh darn it, I keep wanting to say 56 over 86 ain't good because you want to be 120 over 80 highest. So I'm actually expecting a phone call from the triage nurse because I called up my clinic there to say, I'm not, my head doesn't feel like it's going to pop. Aside from a mild headache, I have zero symptoms, which means, generally if you're having a crisis, blood pressure crisis, you're going to know it. I mean, normal high blood pressure, not an issue. But when your blood pressure does something weird, generally, they ask you, are you having chest pain? Are you having shortness of breath? Are you having a massive headache that you can't do anything about? Well, no, I got a mild headache, which means I'm not in the head blow up danger phase, but I am in the doing long-term damage over the long-term phase, where in the future that causes problems. The thing is, at 62, I'm in the future. I may be in the beginning of the future. I have not yet entered. In life, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And each of those three phases can be broke up into beginning, middle, end, with the beginning of the beginning, and then the end of your beginning, and then the beginning of your middle, all the way to the end of your middle, and then the beginning of your end, when you start being in your 50s and such. If you go with a standard 72 as an average, break that up, 64, I leave the middle of the end, and I enter the end of the end. I'm in the future. I need to take care of this. So I got the triage nurse awaiting. I do have an appointment with my doctor on the 12th of next month. And again, I'm not in the head gonna blow up stage. I'm not in the stroke phase. I'm not in the heart attack phase. I am in the we're doing permanent long-term damage phase. So joy. Is there anything else that I have up there that I wrote on my list? Actually, no. Because not a lot has been happening. I have not had a lot of energy. I have also been eating way too much still. Each day I say I'm going to just get intelligent stuff up at Walmart. And I do purchase some intelligent stuff. I have, as you can see, there are beans and other food-like things up there. So I do buy intelligent stuff. But I also, this morning, my breakfast was a container of Keebler Sandies, shortbread cookies. And last night, Walmart is now selling small packs of cookies for just $1. I have no self-control. So yeah, I'm worried about my weight, which I'm quite sure is not doing good things for my blood pressure. Luckily, I still exercise. One of the reasons I got the pedometer. But yeah. Ugh. But on top of that, no, I have largely just been playing video games when I can, been watching far too many videos, having staying awake issues because, hey, I ate those shortbread cookies this morning. Cookies are made out of flour. Flour is made out of wheat. Wheat is a gluten-filled substance, and I am gluten intolerant. That too could have something to do with my inability to concentrate properly, as well as the normal ADHD. Because, yeah, I'm starting to feel the edges of a gluten coma come on, which is what happens to me when I eat a lot of stuff with gluten in them. I get really super sleepy to the point that I can't stay awake, literally cannot stay awake, no matter how hard I struggle. I have continued thinking about all sorts of creative things within various contexts of just the larger thing in general, the larger thing, the larger setting, starting with the whole cosmology and how the multiverses come into existence. I have continued thinking about my solo RPG setting on the world of Shensha, the continent of Karthkog, dealing with the people that are the Orkani, the Habani, and the Apani. Because the Apani, of course, the smallest of the three races on Karthkog, at 4.5 feet tall on average, when they came from their tribal homelands that is covered in ice now, the land name for this place translates into like vile, wicked, unloved. But when they came down and were able to sink their fingers into thick, rich, fertile soil, it spoke to them. And this is why they live in these farming communities, where you will be born on the farm, you will work on the farm, you will become a member of the household and help to take care of it. You will become the head of the household, over taking charge and making sure it all runs, and then you as a grandparent will be in charge of making sure the children and such learn, and then you'll pass on and life in the farm will continue. They are deeply into this. But I've been trying to think sociologically about all this. And I just thought I'd mention this. How I figured these deep, earthy farmers who have to deal with animal husbandry and animal births There is an equivalent of honey, dear, sweetheart that the Apani use for each other. Gabo and Pada. There is a type of tree, Gabo. It is a particularly phallic looking tree. Gabo also happens to be the particular name of a male anatomy. So when an Apani woman is looking for her Gabo, her sweetheart, her significant other, well, she's referring and he, of course, would call for his Pada. And a Pada happens to be, at least in the upper portion of this part of the continent they're on, they don't have true hot springs, or at least they haven't found hot springs. But there are warm springs, at the very least. It's not hot, but they come out of these narrowish fissures with a very, because it is a disinfectant type stuff that comes up, no real plant life there at it, but a lot of plant life and stuff surrounding it. And as the stream goes downward, as that flows outward, the plant life and such is able to grow. And you are able to, maybe one person, maybe several people, to slip and slide into these Pada, these natural springs, and you can even brace yourself and safely fall asleep within them. Pada is also the name for that portion of a woman's anatomy. Sweetheart, dear, honey, my Gabo, my Pada. Thumbs up. And of course, call for action time. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be very, very cool. Greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. And if you are a Patreon patron, that is amazing and beautiful and awesome. Thumbs up and thank you. This old guy definitely appreciates it. Hokey smokes, you helped me out to no end. You are beautiful and awesome. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. For everybody that leaves me a comment, you two are beautiful and awesome in your own way. And I feel like I've got huge amounts of saliva bubbles in my mouth right now. So if I have huge amounts of saliva bubbles that are popping up in my mouth right now, my sincere apologies. But if you leave me a comment, you are beautiful and awesome in your own way. Thumbs up and thank you. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart as many as I can, and I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me. And of course, I wanted to thank everybody that plays my internet game of Marco Polo in the last 24 hours when I yelled out Marco with the secret word for people to write down into the comments. Several people did call back Polo by writing that secret word into the comments. Now, I ask you to write that in the comments for two reasons. Number one, blatant engagement farming. Just to let YouTube know the people actually do watch the videos, not the comments. You can watch the comments too, but it's... And number two, calling out Marco just into the void, just to hear who calls back Polo. It is nice to know that there is a hearing ear out there. Someone who is actually hearing me call out in the void and then call back, I hear you. Thumbs up. Thank you. It is appreciated. And of course, if you've watched this far, if you could write the word night in the comments, that would be very, very cool for, once again, blatant engagement farming. And number two, Marco. So if you could, that would be cool. Now, if you don't want to, that's fine. It's just a silly little thing. I wouldn't force anyone to do so, even if I could. Consent is important, even on something as minor as that. So if you don't want to play, thumbs up. You don't have to. Thumbs up if you do, too. Yay. Come on. You gonna crack? Nope, it's gonna hurt. That one cracked. I got to do that all day. When I'm using my mouse to play like Grim Dawn, when I periodically have to lift up my hand and then go because my hand is stuck in that position, and then I can move my hand without it making those awful sounds, and then I go back to playing. Yay! So yeah, I'm going to edit, render, upload, take care of myself as best as I can. Still waiting for the triage call. As the person that was talking there said, we're going to send that off to the triage nurse. They don't know when the triage nurse will call. To which I said, hey, even phone calls are subject to triage. Phone calls are less important than that human person sitting in front of you. I understand that. Not an issue. If my blood pressure gets higher or I feel worse, then I'm heading down there. But for right now, I'm okay. And hopefully you're okay. So yeah, I'm going to do all that stuff. I'm going to play video games. I want to play Midnight. Then, oh yeah, shucks, I was going to talk about this one too. When did I talk? I'm pretty sure I showed this one. I'm going to have to do that one next time. I'm pretty sure I showed it off, but I don't mind showing these things off again just because my brain is broken. So I'm going to quit talking before I go on for a full half hour again, because as much as I enjoy talking that much, viewership goes down the longer these things go on, and I have such small amounts of people to watch anyway, that by the time I get this far, thank you, the 1 or 2 people that make it this far. And of course, take care of yourself. And until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed a very good thing. Because, yeah, like I said, I could talk on forever about absolutely nothing, which, yeah,